Hi guys, Tashi Delek I, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well. I am fine as always. We are fine as always. So today's topic is very sensitive and it's about Father's Day. It's about the father that I never met. It's too private to share, but I am here to share my story and just a message for those who are going through the same, and how I have evolved as a child, as a person that I am today. And it all comes to this point in my life where all those experiences that you have from your childhood up until now, it makes the person that you are today. Like, those are the reasons that make you the person who you are. So basically I came from out of the wedlock. So I was born in Mundgod, and to my mother and to my father. So when I was born, I think he came to visit me. I heard that he came to visit me, my father, and that's it. That's the last time I saw him ever in my life. And so basically later on in life, my mom got married to my stepdad, and luckily I got a good stepfather. But my message here would be like, not every child gets a good stepfather. So that's the message about this video that I'm making. I don't really have to make it, but I'm just making it because I felt it's important. And your childhood days are very important in your growing part as a person, as an individual. And how I grew up without knowing my father, that part I wanted to share. So I was born, and that's it. That's the last time he saw me. So I never saw him because I was a baby, so I never saw him. And my stepfather was a very good stepfather for me, and he sent me to boarding school in Chennai, and I did my college 2 years, and then I left because I ended up here. So that's the reason I stopped college. But back in the day, in my childhood, I will always wonder about my father and why he's not there. I knew he was somewhere in north, staying in north. He's married and he has a couple of kids. I don't know how many kids. And so I just want you to know that this video is based on my life. So I'm not gonna ill talk about any other people in this video. So I'm just making sure. And I found this this to be important message for the couples, those who have separated, those who are separating, those that if they have kids and kids, it's a very crucial part in their life. They are still young, they are still innocent, their brains are not fully developed, even though they are developed enough but not fully. It can go in any way, a wrong way or the right way. And I just want to tell that not every child that comes from a broken family becomes a musician or an artist or an actor, or philosopher, what I mean. So every child, in my mind, needs good love and care, especially from their father, and that plays a very important role in growing up. So in my life, my real father wasn't there for whatever reasons. They never, for whatever reasons. But I always thought about him and why he's not there. So growing up, I'm this ugly child. I feel always that I'm that ugly child, the unwanted child. And the curly hair, the brown skin, and then I have this big birthmark on my face, and I don't know, God can put that in anywhere. He chose my face. So that's how I grew up. And also like very feeling ugly, and why, and this and that, and I would feel very awkward growing up. And then there was a time that I would put one and one together and felt like, okay, that's why he's not in my life, because I look ugly. So that's that's the reason I'm making this video. The child mind is very fragile and it can go any way. Their thinking and their thoughts that come to my mind, and it can trigger them. So, but eventually I had a good childhood days. I have a loving grandparents. My stepdad was good, my mom was good, my aunt, uncle were there. So I had a normal childhood as it used to be. But there are kids in my town, or even that stepdads are not good, and even their own father are not, who are drunk, they do some abuse. So for me, God has been grateful. I'm blessed, should I say. So I don't know, I just wanted to share my story on this Father's Day. And no matter in what way you are parting ways, the partners, I think it's important to keep in touch with your kids, since if they're still young, it's very important for the children to be in contact with their father, because you never know, the stepdads can be, not every child gets a good stepdad, and it might change the way they think about life and in anything, and that's the reason I make this video. And so I was in this boarding school, and my father, I think he got married, and he was somewhere in North India. And when I was in Chennai in hostel, and there are kids from North, so I would always think, like, I don't know why I would always think like that he will send me a bag of chocolates, or lollies. I would always think, and that he will send me something. I don't know why I was used to think, because he doesn't know where I live, I don't know. So but then that thing never came, and it got me even more angry. And so I grew up without him, but he was always in my mind. So when I was like 19 or something, he called me one time in the summer vacation, and that's the first time I heard his voice. And I just talked normally. I never said dad or anything, because he wasn't. Maybe we are related in blood, but he wasn't there for me. So I felt, so I think the reason that I get angry very easily is that's the trigger point, that's where it came from, And but somehow life has been good, and so he called me when I was 19, and that's the last time I heard from him. And then after a few years I landed here in Belgium, and when it was around, I think, 2008. I was going through some of my personal issues, and after a few days or something, my mom told me that he passed away. And that, because I always wanted to meet him once. And that day never came. And that day never came, and and that day never came. So basically, how he died is like, he had some kind of mole here on the nose, and for some reason he wanted to get rid of that mole or whatever, and they did some surgery, if I'm not wrong. And after the surgery, it got like infected, and then it turned into some cancer, and then he passed away due to that. So he passed away, if I'm not wrong, somewhere in 2008. And the thing that I wanted to meet him once, and the things I wanted to talk to him or ask him, or that never came. And sometimes life puts you in some situations that you can't do anything. And so that small hole in my heart will always be there. It's gonna be there, empty, like. Even though I had a good stepfather, it's not the same. You know what I mean? It's not the same. And My stepfather passed away in 2010 when I was pregnant with my daughter. So that was so much painful. So yeah, I just wanted to share my side of the story and to spread a message, or to impact someone out there. And yeah, and I'm not ashamed of sharing my story. So yeah, and but I'm grateful to God, and that I am in a good place. Like I always, growing up, I always felt like, will I ever get married? Will I ever have a children? I always have that stress, that being young, and I never wanted to be a teen mother or anything like that, because then life gets more messed up. So you have to be, I was very mature growing up, in thinking these kind of things. So I was like, in that way, I was like, okay, I look ugly, that's good. So but having said that, I always wanted to have a good life. Like I was always ready to work hard, because I was working hard since I was 16, 17 or something like that. And I wanted a good life, and I worked towards that goal. And most importantly, to have a good husband. That's very important for every girl. And my children having a good father. So that was my main priority. My children has to have a good father, that he will never leave his child. That was my priority. And touch wood, it was great. I have a loving husband who loves his children. And yeah, other than that, there are small issues in life that doesn't really matter. We all can overcome those issues. But a child life is very important, especially his childhood days, where they are growing, developing. That's the very essential period in their life. They need love. The reason behind sharing my story is very simple. I want you to pick up that phone and make that call to your child or whatever. And if you're not in contact, so that will make a huge difference in a child's life, trust me. And I hope it might help someone out there. And yeah, thanks for watching my video. And happy Father's Day to all of you. And take care. Lots of love.